Hello, racing fans. This is NASCAR Racing Fan 2015, back with another NASCAR review. And this one is on Subway leaving Daniel Suarez unexpectedly. As it was announced on Saturday, they would terminate the contract. They won't even sponsor him in the Talladega race. They were scheduled for one more race. They will not be sponsoring Suarez in that event. So anyways, pretty much, let's go over Subway's history. They start with Greg Biffle in 2005, and then 2006, 2007. They do really well. I mean, Greg Biffle almost won them the championship in 2005. I'm sure they probably won a couple races with Greg Biffle. And it was a fairly good partnership. Greg Biffle was a good person, very successful. And the commercial with Greg Biffle, like he's eating a Subway sandwich, and then he has two sandwiches. They're like cars, and he throws one of the sandwiches. I mean, that was kind of funny. That was when NASCAR commercials were actually good, not the pandering garbage that we see nowadays. I might have to do a whole rant on every commercial. I have almost all the ones from 2017 memorized. They're all. I might do that one time. I'll just go over all the commercials this year and how all of them annoyed me to death. I'll do that. I might do that if you guys want me to. So, anyways, yeah, pretty good success there. And now eventually in 2008, they moved to Joe Gibbs Racing with Tony Stewart. And now that was a very weird partnership with Tony Stewart, because Tony Stewart, you don't see him as the fit guy who works out and eats a sub sandwich. He's the kind of guy that gets a cheeseburger, goes to your local bar. He's a tough guy. And you don't see him eating at Subway. I mean, just stereotypes, but I mean, Tony Stewart probably didn't even like the Subway. That was the season that he ran a Toyota and was sponsored by Subway. I'm sure Tony Stewart was probably cringing the whole 2008 season. That's probably why he didn't do very good. But for Subway, they won they won a race with him. I mean, yeah, they didn't win a championship. No, he did awful. Tony Stewart won the Talladega race in 2008 after that controversial finish. So they won a race with him. Yeah, as weird as it sounds. And then in 2009, Tony Stewart leaves for Stewart House Racing. He obviously didn't bring Subway with him and instead picked up a Whopper at Burger King. And so Subway decides to go back to Roush Fenway Racing and Carl Edwards. And Carl Edwards is the perfect spokesperson for Subway. Very fit guy. He does a lot. He of course, backflips off the top of the car. I mean, very healthy person. I mean, exercises a lot. Nice guy. A good race car driver. He's just a perfect fit for the Subway brand as itself. And Carl Edwards did a good job. He carried Subway well. He won them the 2013 Subway Fresh Fit 500. Yeah, he won the Subway race. That's pretty big whenever a sponsor wins the sponsored race. It's a big accomplishment to prove that you're the best and you're big into it. And Carl Edwards did that. And then they also, whenever he moved Joe Gibbs Racing, won the 600. And Carl Edwards did his legendary backflips. And I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, Carl Edwards, it was pretty good. He almost won the championship for them. 2011, ironically, they lost to Burger King and Tony Stewart. So Subway lost to their former driver by a tiebreaker, but that was still a good year. And then in 2016, he was probably, if the race would have went green, he probably would have been your champion. And then Carl Edwards, instead, 10 laps to go, restart, crashed out, and that was the end of his career. But it was a pretty good tenure with Subway. And so the new driver is Daniel Suarez, as he, from Monterrey, Mexico. That's what Rick Allen says almost every time it's on NBC to talk to the fans that don't really watch NASCAR and tell them there's a Mexico driver. So anyways, I mean, Daniel Suarez hasn't had the greatest year, but I mean, at Daytona, I saw he was up front a lot. There were a couple ads for Subway. And I thought this was a perfect fit for Subway. I've heard they're trying to get bigger in Mexico. And, I mean, I heard Coca-Cola, like Subway, are trying to get big in Mexico as well. So it was it was immediate pickup for Subway and Coca-Cola, it seemed like. And, I mean, to have the only Mexican driver. I mean, Daniel Suarez probably has tons of fans in Mexico. Because, I mean, in America, I don't think anyone really cares about Daniel Suarez. But in Mexico, he is like the driver. It's like in baseball, like the Toronto Blue Jays. That's Canada's team. This is Mexico's driver. They all are probably backing Daniel Suarez. He's probably like on the local news if he does really well. I'm sure never won the championship. Maybe it was probably like a documentary or something like that. Maybe on Suarez. I don't know, but Suarez is probably the big deal in Mexico. And I thought it was a good move for them. And then I find out it was very crushing. On Saturday, I looked up social media. It's like Subway terminates sponsorship of Daniel Suarez immediately. I'm like, oh, what now? Because this year has just been an awful year for sponsorship departures. You know, of course, we had Farmers and Great Clips. We had Dollar General the year before. Oh, yeah, we also had Target, like one of the biggest sponsors in NASCAR, pull out because Brian Cornelius is still the biggest moron I've ever seen run a company. I mean, you look at, like I said, you look at Target and all their garbage stupid trend ads that'll easily fade out in the next couple months. That just shows how dumb Target is. And I mean, I guess they didn't want anything to do. They completely made their whole fan base, they made the NASCAR fan base mad. And I don't think anyone really wants to go to Target anymore from the fan base. So they made an entire probably region of America mad at them just because of that. And the worst part, like I said, they moved to soccer. I mean, really? I get, you know, sponsoring a little bit, but it seemed like they pulled all their money from motorsports into soccer, and it makes me mad. Especially the whole thing about, oh, it is an international market, even though Target doesn't have an international market. But anyways, yeah, so my opinion on the Subway decision is that really it was multiple parties' fault. First off, I mean, I think okay, so the reason why Subway pulled out was because Daniel Suarez was in like one of those pre-race thing, that stupid thing with Rutledge Wood, and like I guess they were probably talking about racing, and then they give Dunkin' Donuts to fans. So first off, I think they were like advertising the Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, that's the first thing you don't want to do in marketing, is you don't want to market a product that doesn't give any money to you. I mean, maybe, I don't know, but I just have never seen any Dunkin' Donuts, anything with NBC, maybe besides one or two ads maybe during a race. But it just seemed like they're not a sponsor. If it were like Sonic or Carl's Jr. and Hardee's, then I get it. But this is Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, they're not even, they really don't pay for much advertisements. So I don't get why, I don't get who thought of, at NBC, thought of, oh yeah, let's just grab a box of donuts from Dunkin' Donuts and just do that. I mean, it would have worked. I think it would have been better if they would have just bought a box of donuts, oh yeah, and then cover up the logo. Because then now you're not promoting any other business. So it just doesn't make any sense. And I mean, if you look at it, Subway sells breakfast. If you guys didn't know that, Subway sells breakfast. It was that whole breakfast trend in 2014. Subway sold breakfast. Taco Bell sells breakfast. Who else? I think Chick-fil-A is probably starting to sell breakfast. I mean, what next? Like Pizza Hut and Little Caesars are going to start selling breakfast pizzas. Maybe KFC can get in the breakfast business, like you can have your breakfast fried chicken. But it just seems like it's kind of competing products. I mean, Dunkin' Donuts, they don't just sell donuts. Oh no, I went there on vacation. They sell like stuff you'd see at McDonald's. You know, they have the sandwiches, they have like I think they have burritos, they have, of course, your coffee. I mean, it's basically a competition to Subway. So, and that, under the guidelines, I guess for the contract, would be a breach of contract. You're advertising other products. Now, I mean, I don't totally blame Subway. I mean, now with Nature's Bakery, like, how is a protein supplement or whatever same as a Nature's Bakery bar? Like, how is that a valid argument? And the other thing is, they tried to control Danica Patrick into being a marketing machine. They probably just watched Danica Patrick's ads. They watch like the GoDaddy ads where she acts like an idiot or like a model. I should say that. But like she acts like a model and like tries to show off or whatever. That's probably what they did. When Danica Patrick, even though she's not a good racer, she's a NASCAR driver. And I think that's what Nature's Bakery, I guess, overlooked. They just saw a big name. Oh yeah, let's throw $30 million into it when we're a small company. And now Nature's Bakery is probably going to die off, even though I've started to see some of their products hit stores. But, I mean, it's kind of a breach of contract. I mean, most teams... Now, I watched this in a Road to the Race Day thing. There was, like, Chase Elliott was in the media center at Daytona, and they showed him going through, like, they have, like, the advertisement things. And I think there was something for Twitter, and, like, they had him with an iPhone. And I think the PR woman said that, oh, well, we might have issues with this because, you know, Chase Elliott's using an iPhone when, well, Hendrick Motorsports, if you don't know, has a partnership with Microsoft. And those are competing products. And then I think there was a second part where, like, the PR person was talking to some of the people, like saying, oh, Chase Elliott can't wear this hat, but the other one should be fine. So probably there was one sponsor that went against one of his, probably something like maybe 3M at the time. Like he couldn't wear a hat, or like if they had, you know, if they had a Monster Energy hat, that might go against, like if Hendrick Motorsport, if there's not an obligation where they don't have to wear it, Hendrick Motorsports will not wear the Monster Energy hat. I mean, you look on most of their press releases, they hide the Monster Energy logos. Like when the paint scheme previews, they still have the names on the windshield. They hide it as much as possible because of the Mountain Dew sponsorship, because it's competing products. So that was one thing that's one thing that they messed up. Where was the Joe Gibbs PR guy saying, you know, hey, you can't sell these donuts, or you can't just give away donuts because that's going to mess up the Subway contract, which I completely didn't get. And I mean, it was NBC's fault for buying a box of donuts and exposing Dunkin' Donuts when I don't know if they had any marketing, and then forcing Daniel Suarez to do it. And I mean, but at the same time, though, I think it's a terrible, terrible thing for Subway to do. I mean, Daniel Suarez is perfectly innocent in this situation. He did nothing wrong. I mean, Daniel Suarez, in my opinion, is one of the only Joe Gibbs drivers, or Toyota drivers, I can stand. I can't stand any of them anymore. I kind of like Daniel Suarez, even though the whole fiasco with Carl Edwards. I heard recently that my dad told me that one of his friends, I think, heard from the NASCAR garage that Daniel Suarez or some investment or something, maybe like his family or something like that, paid Carl Edwards $15 million to like just sit out. Now, this might be a rumor. It sounds like a rumor that could have been exaggerated. But at the same time, it might be accurate because Carl Edwards really didn't give. I just still think Carl Edwards didn't give a valid reason on why he's retiring. I think he's just playing the nice guy card where, here, I'll just take the money and, I'll just enjoy sitting back. But at the same time, though, Carl Edwards could I guess, do something. I don't know, but there's that rumor lying around that possibly Suarez or somebody invested with Suarez gave Carl Edwards an offer to sit out. So if we see Carl Edwards mysteriously come back in probably a fourth Penske car next year, or possibly go back to Roush Fenway Racing, then we'll have that aspect. So anyways, moving on from that, like I said, I'm 50-50 on Denny Hamlin. I mean, he just chokes up way too much. I mean, it seemed like almost every week there's some type of issue. He should have done well last time in the chase. I had him as a championship pick, and he choked up. He had a speeding penalty almost every single race. I mean, it can't almost pull the guy. It seemed like every time he's in the lead, eventually gets passed. Richmond, he coughed up. I mean, he eventually... I thought he had the race won, and then eventually he fell back, of course. And then a couple other times. I mean, Darlington, if he didn't win that race, that would just prove my point. Denny Hamlin's the biggest choker in NASCAR. I mean, he's choked up so many times. I mean, he's an okay driver, of course, 31 wins. Doesn't come after nothing. But there's just that aspect that just can't make him a great driver because he just chokes up so much. It gets ridiculous. Well, and then let's see the rest of Toyota / Joe Gibbs next year. Hate Kyle Busch. I don't like Eric Jones. I don't like Martin Truex Jr. I don't like BK Racing as a whole. They're the biggest joke in NASCAR. I'm sick and tired of seeing people defend this team. They're the same as 2012. They've just been winging it the last 5 years. Haven't gained any speed whatsoever. I cannot wait until this team this team's probably going to be gone next year. I can't wait to make a massive rant on how bad this team was. No improvement at all. They are still the laughable, awful team that they were a couple of years ago. And so there, it's nothing against Suarez. So now I'm going to get into the fun part of the video where I bash Subway for being a bunch of morons. I mean, Subway, I still respected them for being a NASCAR sponsor. I still respected them. But they have slowly kind of went into just the stupid direction. They've tried to pander to all the millennials, like the people that like stupid commercials, just the brain dead people. So we had the $5 footlong promotion, and I kind of thought that was cool. Like, the song I thought was classic. I mean, it's just like a simple song. I mean, and it was a catchy jingle, and like it was just a fresh thing. I mean, I liked it. I mean, if you haven't heard the $5 footlong song, you've been either living under a rock or you're a new NASCAR fan, because that ad would play like from 2008 to 2012, 2013. I mean, that was one of the ads I could respect. And, they always had Subway, eat fresh, Subway, eat fresh, Subway, eat fresh. I mean, it was a perfectly good tagline. They want to be a fresh company. They want to be, they're trying to create an image for themselves, and I thought it was a good image for themselves. And I thought it was a great thing for them to do with the Eat Fresh thing. So anyways, after that, pretty much, the downfall starts to come down. As obviously, let's see what, oh yeah. First off, they get rid of the $5 footlongs. So you get rid of your biggest promotion, and now it's $6 footlongs. I mean, why? You take your most popular ad campaign. No, it's $6. Let's make a song about the $6 footlong. And then that's just going to drive people away from the company. No wonder now they don't play anymore. And it's just weird. Every single time a Subway ad comes on, I think of they have $6 sandwich. I'm like, are you kidding me? It was $5. Like, only morons that don't have a brain would say, oh, that's a great deal. That's a great deal to get a sandwich. No, it's not. I'm sorry. I know it's only by $1 and I'm losing my mind. But they're bragging about it so much when there's better options out there. There's more food for less money than with Subway. Let's see. Little Caesars. You can get a thing of pizza for $5 and a drink. KFC, you can get an entire meal for less than $5. Let's see. You can get like a fried chicken meal. You can get your mashed potatoes. You can get a biscuit. You can get a cookie and a drink for $5. That's cheaper than a footlong. Oh yeah, and then Dairy Queen. Oh yeah, we have the $5 lunch. You can get like a cheeseburger, you can get chicken strip basket, you can get anything like a chili dog, and then you can get your fries, you can get a drink, and you can get a sundae. You can get a Dairy Queen ice cream for $5. The $5 lunch at Dairy Queen. There, I just named two things that are better promotions than Subway. And then Subway, there was that whole allegation about how, oh, wow, now they're trying to cut it down to 11 inches. So, I mean, that 1 inch is going to make more people hungry for Subway and make them spend money on another sandwich. So, yeah, that's perfectly good. Misleading advertisements. And that's why the company just exploded. And it's probably because the owner or the CEO died off. Now it's run by his sister. And ever since, they got a new logo, and they've been changing things left and right. Oh yeah, and then the ads. You should listen to the replacement for the $5 footlong. It's like one of those like dumb song. Like every time they play the song, it's like some stupid song. It's like a carnival song or something. It almost wants you to laugh at how bad that deal is. And maybe that was their whole strategy. And there's an ad. I'm going to put this in the cards. I'm going to do exactly what I did for the Target video. So we have this, they're advertising about, I think it's the chicken teriyaki, or no, it's not. It's another sandwich. So it's an ad. And so it has like one of those workout songs, like those annoying workout songs, like those motivational songs or whatever. And the lyrics are like turkey, ham, and roast beef, and they sing it like it's so cool. And I'm sitting here like, is this really the best thing they can come up with? It's stupid. It's just so dumb. I mean, nothing can beat the $5 footlong song. Bring that back. Even though now it'll be $6 footlong. And it'll sound even dumber. But, I mean, it's just such a dumb advertisement. I mean, really? Oh, yeah. And then they also changed their slogan. It's like, more sandwich or something like that. So you go from one of the coolest slogans to now one of the stupidest, like more sandwiches or something. Like what? Now you're desperate now you cut back on the footlong? Oh yeah, now let's just say, hey, buy more sandwiches. And I mean, that's like McDonald's saying, getting rid of, I'm loving it, to, more burgers or something. That's like KFC getting rid of it's finger licking good to like fried chicken, like jumbo fried chicken or something like that. I don't know. That's like Jimmy John's getting rid of Freaky Fresh for more sandwich. I mean, it's just dumb. You get rid of your best slogan. That's what people recognize Subway by. And you get rid of it. How dumb are you to do that? So yeah, I mean, Subway has been going downhill. And I mean, I personally don't get why the Dunkin' Donuts thing's a big deal. Suarez did nothing. And besides, let's look at other teams. Well, what about Chase Elliott? He has Little Caesars and Hooters sponsorship. And somehow they're cool with it. Maybe it's because Mountain Dew is fine with it. But yeah, they're still together. I mean, you would think that Hooters would have an issue with it or something. Oh yeah, Kevin Harvick. He markets Outback and Jimmy John's, and yet apparently, yeah, they don't have a problem with that. They're not so sensitive. Let's look at like Kroger Racing. I think they have Cheerios and Cheez-It on the same car. They're fine with it. I mean, they're perfectly fine with they're fine with marketing both Cheez-It and Cheerios, even though Cheez-It is technically a part of the Kellogg's umbrella. And Cheerios is the General Mills, and they are competing products. Just look at your cereal aisle the next time you're at Target or Walmart or Kroger. So, I mean, it's just an overreaction. I mean, I think they went too far. And just seeing the social media reaction, oh my gosh, you go on Subway's latest tweet, like after the whole announcement, it's like, dig your teeth into this. Oh man. Subway got roasted terribly on how it was. Okay, I'm gonna try and remember some of the tweets. It's like, I do not think I'm going back to Subway. I think that was one of them. There was another one saying, oh, that sub sandwich is shorter than Daniel Suarez's contract. I think there's another one that said, I'm gonna think of some of them. Okay, there was one of them that had like, if I get like this Subway sandwich, it would be equivalent to getting like 11 out of 12 donuts from Dunkin' Donuts because of Subway cutting back the foot long to try to be at 11-inch. And then I think there was Richard Petty. It's like, oh, I thought I was Petty or something like that. And like he was eating a donut. Yeah, you got to see that. They also had Suarez with a Dunkin' Donuts thing over the Subway logo. And like there were a ton of people saying that they wanted to go to Dunkin' Donuts. So there we go. They did exactly what Target did. They made an entire fan base despise them so much. I mean, great job, Subway. You made almost every NASCAR fan mad at you. And so, bottom line, are they going to come back to NASCAR? And there's rumors they would go to another team. I highly doubt it. After this whole reputation about this whole scandal, I doubt they're going to come back. I really do. I think they're going to go on. And besides, I'm sure Subway also probably saw this as an opportunity to leave NASCAR. Hopefully in the next ad, maybe Subway can make a hit-on ad where, like, instead of that stupid cardio song, instead of saying turkey, ham, and roast beef, they can sing like leaving NASCAR or something. Somebody make that. I mean, I want to hear. That would just be the cringiest ad, the dumbest ad ever. I hope it comes out. I could bash it so much. It would just be one of those like Subway making an idiot out of themselves. And I'm guess what, Subway? I'm gonna go to Jimmy John's even more. I abandoned Subway kind of long before this. I stopped really going to Subway. They just have gotten old. Jimmy John's is way better. The bread's better. Just the blend of the ingredients is better. Oh yeah, and also Jersey Mike's is good. There's just way better sandwich places than Subway. Subway, I went there, I think, in June. And I said, hey, I haven't been here in a while. Maybe, maybe it'd be different. I had it, and it wasn't that good. I mean, it was just okay. So Subway has really climbed down the ladder in terms of quality. And if you look at I think the restaurant in my area has a 2 out of 5. Nobody shows up, and they're in that like dumpy shack. Oh yeah, it burnt down I think a while back. And they renovate everything. So Subway's trying, like I said, bottom line, Subway's trying to be cool with the new generation. That's what Target tried to do, be cool with the new generation. And it is going to backfire terribly for them. I wouldn't be surprised if Jimmy John's overtakes them. So bottom line, go to Jimmy John's, support Kevin Harvick in the 4 team. Kevin Harvick's not my favorite driver. I still like him. But go to Jimmy John's, go support